Hello students, today in this video we are going to do analytical paragraph, and the second aspect of this analytical paragraph is bar graph. In our previous videos we have done the introduction of analytical paragraph and line graph. So let's have a look once again on the structure of the analytical paragraph. The first paragraph would be of introduction. There you have to paraphrase the question itself in 3 to 4 lines. Next one would be overview, and there you have to describe the overall trend in all the chambers of the graph, that what is going on here, what is the increase, what is the decrease, and the comparison also. And in third paragraph, the body paragraph number 1 would be describe the first grouping of lines having similar trends or the values, and in second body paragraph you have to describe the second grouping of the lines having similar trends or the values, right? So let's see the vocabulary to be used in this. As we have done this in last video also, the same thing you have to use here. In the first picture you can see with the first the arrow which is going on the upside, so that is the rise, okay, that these verbs are used to give the rise in the particular data. So that is rise, jump, grow, climb, go up, increase, soar. And when the things are getting decreased, then you have to go with the arrow which is dropping down. So that is fall, drop, decline, decrease, go down, plunge, and plummet. In the third box you can see the adverbs which are to be describe the verbs, that how the verb is happening, how this rise is going on, how this jump is slightly, slowly, steadily, or sharply, or what, right? So that is what you can use this for both increase and decrease, these adverbs. And you can take the help of the arrows, like the first arrow which is on the downward side, that is when you have to use when there is a small change, right? Means slightly or slowly. When the things goes somewhat fast from this first stage, then you have to go with steadily, gradually, moderately. And then the upper stage of this is considerably, significantly, substantially, and the last one when there is a sudden rapid change is there, so there in that case you have to do sharply, quickly, rapidly, and steeply. And in next part of the slide we can see the subjects, right? Here in the bar graph you can see subject may be the sales, the prices, the production, the percentage of something, and the number of something. And the verbs which you have to give here are verb means what happened, like fell, dropped, rose, decreased, or increased. And the adverb also you have to use with that how did it change, right? When it is increasing, so what was what slight change, or sharp change, or rapid change, what was that? So for that you have to use the adverbs with that, and these are given in the blue box, like slightly, sharply, steadily, significantly, dramatically. Once again you can take the screenshot of the last picture, and when it is shown with the arrows and all that, there you can get it more clearly. Next, how to use the adjective in the nouns, like there is a slight rise in sale, there was a gradual fall in the price of whatever it is, balls, means any consuming good, whatever it is. There has been a dramatic drop in the rate of, there will be a steady decline in the number of. So such type of sentences you have to use in this data. Next is the linking words which you have to use. So this is the picture, clear picture is given to you when you have to add the sentences. So you have to use which verb, when you have to give the sequence, illustrating, cause and effect, and comparing, qualifying, contrasting, and emphasizing. So the words which are given here you have to use for that, okay, for joining of different sentences, all that. So note down this is all the vocabulary I want to say before doing the bar graph on your notebook, so that you will remind it always, okay. Next is the question given to you. The chart below shows the expenditure of 2 countries on consumer goods in 2010, okay. Now on x-axis they are showing us 2 countries, France and the UK. And on y-axis they are showing the expenditure in the pounds, like it is starting from 50,000 pounds and it goes last to 5 lakh pounds. This is the expenditure done by France and the UK, and the different goods are cars, computers, books, perfumes and cameras. Now if we will talk about the cars here, so you can see which country is having on the top. So this UK which is red, right? So that is having they are expending much on that. What was the amount? It is 4,50,000 pounds. And when we talk about France, so they are spending 4 lakh pounds on the cars. Okay, so this is the comparison between the expenditure of cars by the different countries. Next is for computers. So again red one is showing what? Red one is showing 3,50,000, and blue one, that is for UK, and blue one is showing almost 4 lakh, means it is between 3,50,000 to 4 lakh, so it is something 3,70,000 pounds. Clear? So here who is at the lower stage, who is at the lower side? This UK. Next is the expenditure done by the countries on books. So France is doing less here and UK is doing large amount. They are expending large amount on this. Next is the case of perfumes. So UK is spending less on perfumes and France is doing more. But the overall the comparison is this, that rest all the like cars, computers, books and this cameras. So there the comparison is little bit, actually this is too low, this perfumes. Both the countries are spending less. Okay, but here also contrast is there, that UK is spending less and France is spending a little bit more. And the last one is of cameras. So UK is spending about 3 lakh pounds on this, and this France, they are spending approximately 1,50,000 pounds on this consumer good, which is cameras. So this is the overview we have taken in this graph, that which country is doing what and what is the expenditure, right? So we have got the the difference between that, and who is spending more, who is spending less in that. Now with this we have to write down our first paragraph, that is introduction part. There we do not need any data, but we have to just paraphrase the question itself. So what we have read here, that the data, that the bar graph is showing the consumption, the expenditure of the two different countries, France and the UK, on the consumer goods in the year 2010. Okay, so this we have to write down in our introduction part. Let's see how. The chart illustrates the amount of money spent on 5 consumer goods, that is cars, computers, books, perfumes and cameras in France and UK. Sorry, in the UK, right? Because this is a group of countries, so here we have to use the UK in 2010. Units are measured in pounds sterling. Next one is the second paragraph would be the overview, and we have done the overview earlier, that overall the UK spent more money on consumer goods than France in the period given. Both the British, now I am taking this British means the people who are living there, so those are British, right? Both the British living in UK, the British and the French. The French, now why I am using here, because I am talking about the people who are living in France. Okay, France and French, people who live in France, those are called French, and people who used to live in UK, the British, right? So that's why I am using here the French. Don't get confused here. With France we will not use the, but with French we will use the. spent most of their money on cars, whereas the least amount of money was spent on perfume in the UK compared to cameras in France. Furthermore, the most significant difference in expenditure between the two countries was on cameras. Next, here you have to just give the line and give the the complete trend, means the same trend you have to go with almost, and in the next body paragraph number 2 you have to go with the different trends of the different bar graphs. So body paragraph number 1, that would be the paragraph number 3 of your analytical paragraph. What we have to write down here, that in terms of cars, now we have to describe the change one by one, that what happened in the case of cars, where they expend more, where they expend less. So in terms of cars, people in the UK spent about 4,50,000 pounds on this, as opposed to the French at 4 lakh pounds. Similarly, the British expenditure was higher on the books than French, around 4 lakh pounds and 3 lakh respectively. So in the UK, expenditure on cameras just over 3,50,000 pounds was over double that of France, which was only 1,50,000 pounds. Okay, so you can use the words like 1,50,000. For 1,50,000 it was 1,50,000 and this was 3,50,000. What we have done was over double of France, means 1,50,000, the double is 3 lakh, and we have touched somewhat 3,50,000, so that is over that. So such type of words you have to use to make this analytical paragraph impressive. Okay, next we have to work on the body paragraph number 2, which would be the paragraph number 4 of your analytical paragraph. Let's see how we have to do. On the other hand, the amount of the money paid out on the remaining goods was higher in France. Above 3,50,000 pounds was spent by the French on computers, which was slightly more than the British, who spent exactly 3,50,000 pounds. Neither of the countries spent much on perfumes. This also we have noticed here, this change, that both of the countries they did the little expenditure on perfumes, right? So this is also the main point of this bar graph, that both of the countries, neither of the countries spent much on perfume, which accounted for 2 lakh pounds of expenditure in France, but under 1,50,000 in the UK. So like this we have finished our this analytical paragraph when we have to do the bar graph. Let's see the quick recap of this, how we have completed. So the chart illustrates the amount of money spent on 5 consumer goods, that is cars, computers, books, perfumes and cameras, in France and the UK in 2010. Units are measured in the pounds sterling. Paragraph number 2. Overall, the UK spent more money in consumer goods than France in the period given. Both the British and the France spent most of the money on cars, whereas the least amount of the money was spent on the perfumes in UK compared to cameras in France. Furthermore, the most significant difference is expenditure between the two countries was on cameras. Next paragraph says, in terms of cars, people in the UK spent about 4,50,000 pounds on this, as opposed to the French at 4 lakh pounds. Similarly, the British expenditure was higher on the books than the French, around 4 lakh pounds and 3 lakh pounds respectively. In the UK, expenditure on the cameras just over 3,50,000 pounds was over double that of France, which was only 1,50,000 pounds. last paragraph where you have to give the overview, the conclusion. So that is what, on the other hand, the amount of the money paid out on the remaining goods was higher in France. Above £350,000 was spent by the French on the computers, which was slightly more than the British, who spent exactly £350,000. Neither of the countries spent much on the perfume, which accounted for £2 lakh of expenditure in France, but under £1,50,000 in the UK. So that's all for today. Enjoy reading, studying, stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.